What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Touchdowns to Home Runs. My name is Bernie. Thank you for joining us today on the Touchdowns to Home Runs post-match show. Hope that your day is going absolutely fantastic. And what a day it was for Stefanos Tsitsipas winning the 1000 Monte-Carlo tournament after a fantastic match, taking down Andrey Rublev by a final score of 6-3, 6-3. And it was a really dominating performance after a really fantastic week overall for Tsitsipas. Absolutely dominated Rublev today. We'll get to the breakdown in just a second. But first, let's take a look at sort of each of these guys' paths to the finals. We'll start with Rublev, the finalist of this tournament. Started off with the round of 32 win over Caruso. Had some really good wins after that against number 9 seed Bautista, Agut in 3 sets, and obviously the big 3-setter against Rafael Nadal, who's been absolutely sensational in the Monte-Carlo tournament historically, and then beat Casper Ruud yesterday in the semifinals before now, of course, losing to Stefanos Tsitsipas. In terms of Tsitsipas, started off the tournament with a pretty tough match against Karatsev, then beat Garin, beat Davidovich Fokina in the quarterfinals, beat Daniel Evans in the semis, and now takes down Andrey Rublev. We'll start with what I saw from Tsitsipas today. He was really on. His ground game was fantastic. Really hitting the ball hard, but it was his ball placement that really kept Rublev on the defensive side, really for the entirety of the match. Rublev was really sitting well behind the baseline all day long, and even though, his ground game wasn't awful, he had a lot of trouble really flipping sort of the momentum of rallies and getting on that offensive side of the ball where he could, put Tsitsipas on the run and eventually with the winners. Rublev had a lot of errors, I thought, but Tsitsipas looked good on serve. He looked pretty good on the return game, especially when he had the chances to break. Rublev wasn't fantastic on the first serve, but I thought Tsitsipas did a good job taking the ball early, getting some really good chances early on in the first set, and then also the early break as well in the second set. In terms of Tsitsipas on serve, really strong. His first serve percentage was pretty good, but he won really majority of his points on first serves especially. We'll look at those stats in just a minute. And then as for Rublev, again, played really defensive. His quality of tennis was not what we saw from him all week long. He wasn't awful, but he did make quite a few errors. His first serve percentage was not fantastic. But I mean, it was a great week for Rublev. Obviously, the big wins, as we were saying before, 2 really quality ones, including that one against Rafa in the quarters where he dropped the second set and then ended up taking the third set. So I was really impressed with him overall this week. I think both of these players, again, are the future of tennis. I think when Rublev is, getting more and more consistent, I think he's definitely a threat to potentially, move really deep into Grand Slams, but I think Tsitsipas is going to be a future number 1, not only winning this tournament, but when he's on and when he's consistent. I've watched him already quite a few times this year, and when he's really hitting the ball hard, I think he's just so mature in terms of the way he plays and the way he is fundamentally for only a 22-year-old, which I think a lot of people forget that he is. So really impressive. Quickly, let's just take a look at the overall match stats. Again, in the first set, Tsitsipas only lost 2 points on his first serve. Really good. Rublev had a tough time. He was trying to take the ball early. Wasn't really successful at it. Won 65%. Or had 65% of his first serves in, but again, when he did get them in, very dominant. Converted the only break point that he saw in the first set. And then in the second set, it was a lot of the same story. Both players were getting their first serve in more. Rublev looked a little bit better at times, but again, it was those unforced errors, really, I think. Some, when he was ahead of the point, ended up, giving them the points to Tsitsipas. There's a few points that I can think of specifically. But yeah, it was a dominating performance by Tsitsipas. Again, congratulations to him for winning this Masters and a great start to the year for him. Both of these guys playing some really good tennis with the Roland Garros French Open coming up. I'm really excited to see what both of these guys do, looking phenomenal so far at the early part of this clay season. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think of this match down in the comment section below. What did you guys see from each one of these players? And give me some French Open predictions as well. How far do you guys think that each of these guys are going to make it in that tournament? If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to Touchdowns to Home Runs for more content just like this. I'm hoping to cover more ATP, potentially WTA tennis further on in the year for the rest of this 2021 tennis season. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, though, and hope to see you again next time.